This is Total Babble. Total Babble. It's a show about music, pop culture, social media, movies, the internet, relationships, TV, whatever. Total Babble. The Total Babble Podcast.
Hey, it's Emily and Stu, and let me tell you, first thing, I screwed up last week. Show correction, Jaws was a PG movie, not an R movie, so I totally misspoke on that, and there's that part of it.
Well, I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that I was sorely disappointed, Stu. Yeah. How very dare you.
She did the research, and then she contacted me afterwards, and she said, "You fuckwit." She called me a fuckwit, and I was so put off. And I just said, "Oh, my God, I'm so sorry. This is terrible the way things have gone." And we've gone from there and we've moved on. Also, your audio was bad last week. We may have corrected that. So those are the two show corrections for this week. Overall, it is, July 4th weekend, Independence Day. This is a good week to hang your head in sorrow as a society in America. A lot of events are being canceled due to ICE. And beyond that, I don't want to dwell on politics that much. We'll talk about it from time to time. I just feel like there's so much bad out there. We're going to try to be fun and frivolous and do whatever, but I'm sure we'll come back to stuff. I've been listening to Mark Maron lately, and God damn it, after that show, you just want to slit your wrists, because I know he is coming from a genuine place, but he does his opening thing before he talks to a guest, and it is so depressing that you really just want to end it all. He talks about things like the world is ending and we're going to be in concentration camps within a week. And I get that he has points, and I kind of feel that way too, but I just can't take it after a while.
Yeah, it is depressing.
Yeah. And we talk about stuff, but I am conscious of that when we do this show. So whatever, we'll figure stuff out and go where we end up. And, really what I want to know and what you can help me with is help me understand Toto.
As in like the Formula One team manager, or the song or the band.
Formula One.
Or the band.
No idea that was going on.
The internet's #1 place for sports talk. This is Total Babble.
Talking about the F1 racers, Toto. No, I like to go out sometimes, and I still listen to the radio because I like that sort of thing. And boy, the Toto comes on the radio sometimes, and I'm listening to that, and I'm like, how do people do that? Because, like, Hold the Line, is that a song we need to hear more? Rosanna, do we need to hear Rosanna?
Well.
And then there's the song that everybody pretends is good, and I don't understand how people think it's good and how people have resolved in their head that it's good. Africa is just the most limp, nothing, passionless song ever, in my opinion.
You don't like it?
I don't
like it.
And I think it might be a little bit of a man-woman thing, because the only people I've ever talked to that seem to think Africa is good are female.
Really? Fascinating.
Then make your case for Africa. What do you like about Africa? It's just so, I felt the rains down in Africa. It's like boring Republican sex, Africa.
Oh, I like it's sort of yacht rocky to me. It's a very chill vibe.
Maybe it's the yacht rock I don't like, because I wouldn't listen to Christopher Cross sailing either.
Right. So I think it's the genre that you don't like. I can see why you don't like it. I can also see why I do like it, because I do indulge in ye olde yacht rock. So I don't know. It's hard to describe. I do like it. It's not complex.
It's hard to go from Turnstile, one of the greatest record releases ever that just came out, and Haim. I like the new Haim record a lot. I support chicks. It's hard to go from that to Africa is what I'm thinking and feeling and experiencing.
It's also vastly generationally different.
Yeah. But see, I should be primed for Africa. That's when I was coming up. And no, it wasn't my thing then, but it's like that and Will Smith. I should be into Will Smith, who I'm not. He just put a new record out, and boy, that is going over like a turd in church. His new song is something about he likes girls, and he's got a video that's like a bullshit Sir Mix-a-Lot Baby Got Back thing, and it's just terrible, and he's getting roasted.
Unsubscribe. Yeah. The only song of his that I remember is Getting Jiggy With It, Na 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 Na, and I'll Take Africa or anything by Toto over Getting Jiggy with It, or that other monstrosity that came out of that family, I Whip My Hair Back and Forth by Willow Smith.
That whole family sucks. I've said for a long time that family sucks. And it's nothing personal. It's just that they are so into themselves and Hollywood bullshit and really not full of talent. If you look at any movie Will Smith made, I've said it before, it's just Will Smith sitting there saying words. And I can't get past that at all. Even the Ali thing he did, it's like, oh, there's Will Smith in boxing gloves. Okay, we'll try to go with that and give him credit for that.
It's so funny. We watched F1 yesterday, the new Brad Pitt movie.
Oh, the one with Toto?
Exactly. Yeah. Toto actually made a cameo appearance.
Was
I
it
thought
the
that's
dog?
what you were referring to. No.
Oh.
Well, it wasn't in Kansas. It wasn't in Kansas. So it's another band that we don't talk enough about on the show.
Was it the toilet Toto?
Also a good reference.
Yeah.
Alas, no, it was not.
All right. Well, I'm out of ideas.
Fresh out. But no, I will say this, though. As much as Willow Smith annoys the shit out of me, she does have one song that I can't help but sing along to. It's that Meet Me at Our Spot song.
I don't know it at all on purpose. Yeah.
I'd sing it to you, but it would be bad. So you'll have to look it up after this.
So, okay, we have two things for me to figure out here. This first one, Toto versus Will Smith. My Dante's Inferno is I'm going to have to listen to all of their music nonstop forever. I think I got to go Toto on that one. I think they win. And yeah, Will Smith. And then here's the other thing. Jada Pinkett Smith, perhaps the most annoying woman on the planet. But I have a point of discussion. I have a little bit of a Dante's Inferno choice here. Jada Pinkett Smith or Katy Perry, who is more annoying?
Oh, Jada Pinkett Smith.
I agree. I completely agree.
Yeah. At least Katy Perry has a sense of humor and she understands that she's playing a character and is a parody of herself. Like, she is aware, I think painfully, of how much of a fucking joke she is. She does it on purpose.
I think she's had to become aware recently. I don't think she was previously.
I think she did fly a little bit too close to the sun. Too many sycophants, started believing her own bullshit, especially with that space flight.
I was going to say, if you watch that space footage, she's an asshole. Right.
I think that was formative for her, and she's, no pun intended, just coming down to earth. And but as she was coming up, as she was younger, sort of pre-American Idol, I thought she was pretty great. Good, solid person, funny, sweet, kind. Then she just became a fucking prick. And
she was huge, like Taylor Swift is huge now. She was that big at the time.
Yeah, exactly. But she didn't engage with people in the way that Miss Swift does. And so she sort of alienates people. But I don't know. I wish her all the best. I don't think that she is anywhere near as bad as Jada Pinkett Smith, who I think is so deeply inside her own self.
Could you be more up your own asshole? Oh, my God.
Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous.
Well, and then I extrapolated out, and I hope my beloved Taylor never becomes that annoying, because I could not see her being interviewed and being like that and kissing the ground and announcing her tour songs up in space. And ugh. Yuck. Speaking of wanker yuck, Puff Daddy, whatever they're calling him this week, looks like he's going to walk. We live in a country without justice. Yeah, they're saying they found him not guilty on all charges except prostitution, I guess. And they want him to do time for that. But then the defense attorney is saying, let's be real, nobody does time for prostitution charges. So yeah, he's going to walk, and he's just another one that will go free that should have gone to jail. It's just gross in this country.
It is terrible.
Maybe he'll be president one day. Maybe we have that to look forward to.
Stranger things have happened, friend.
Indeed,
wait a minute. They're happening right now.
Oh, we're in the middle of them.
We're in the middle.
Happy Independence Day, everybody. Fireworks and shit. Yeah. Here's a good thing I'll pass on. TV. Do you have the HBO? I think it's called Max or something still. Maybe it's HBO
Yes.
Max. Okay. Going to recommend something for you and perhaps the husband if he's ever around. Documentary called My Mom Jane. This is going to sound really
Oh,
boring,
it's
but
about
it's not.
Jane Mansfield.
Yeah.
And it's by
Mariska
Mariska.
Hargitay. Yeah.
Yeah.
She is a hot old lady actress. Don't know a lot about her. I just
Special
know.
Victims Unit for 15 years.
There you go. Procedural. She's into those. I like her a lot. Her mom was Jane Mansfield. Jane died when she was 3. And she, in this documentary, went back and investigated Jane's history. And holy fuck, there is a lot going on there. Her mom was known as the dumb blonde. And when you see pictures of her and interviews with her, she's really not the dumb blonde. And I found it interesting, first off, that they go back and they have all this footage and pictures from the past, and it's amazing the way they restore them. But you can tell in interviews and even just pictures, she's not a dumb blonde, and you have a lot of respect for her and the stuff that she went through. And it's Mariska Hargitay trying to figure out who her mom was.
Yeah.
And then about 2/3 of the way through the movie, there's this huge effing revelation. You're just like, oh my God, they buried the lead on that. And this thing just happened. And wow, I'm pretty blown away. And it's kind of tell-all, but it's not a celebrity tell-all. It doesn't feel exploitive and like they were lame with it. And when she's leading you through this documentary, it's very sincere and real, and it doesn't feel like a shitty reality show. And then you find out about this revelation, and you're like, wow, all these people kept that secret. Why did they do that? And then you find out why they did that, and it's very admirable. And you think, wow, that's a shitty person. Then you go, no, that was actually a very giving person, and it was really great and really touching. So I wanted to mention that. It's called My Mom, Jane Mansfield, Jayne. I had trouble finding it at some points because you got to go with the Y there. But it's so great and really a great watch. I didn't expect a lot from it.
Oh, it's amazing. And I'm not going to give away too much because anybody who knows anything about how she died and what happened and everything, you would already know this. You don't have to watch the documentary. But when Jane Mansfield died, she actually died in a car wreck. And the kids were in the car with her. And her daughter was actually left in the car and was later discovered. They took the other kids away, including her older brother. And it was the older brother who realized that his little baby sister, I think who was 3 at the time, was not with them. And they had to go back to the wreck and found her wedged underneath either the driver or the passenger's seat with quite a bad head injury. And I just thought, oh my gosh, if that didn't mess you up, terrible, terrible accident, frightened little girl, emergency services come, and you're just left there in the car.
Yep. And nobody in this is the perfect person, but you understand why they are the way they are, and the way they lead you through that is pretty great. And it's kind of a reminder that for most people, they don't live in states of black and white. Most people have grays. And wow, it's really cool. And the revelation when you get to it, it's like, ooh. And I really like this Mariska person. I wish I could watch more stuff that she's in, but I don't enjoy the procedural. So
Fair enough. It's really fascinating. And it doesn't it come out, and again, this is not through the movie, but it's relatively common knowledge, I think. And tell me if it is this lady, but that the
well, you've kind of given away the big revelation.
well, it's not a revelation. Like, it's been written about in, like, it's not from the documentary. I've never read anything about the documentary, but she's talked about it a lot in magazines.
I think when I do the edit on this show, I'm going to silence that just because it might ruin the experience for somebody that doesn't know. Because I watched this not knowing, and that's what it is. But when they reveal that, it's just like, wow. And they demonstrate it, and they go back and talk to that person. They interview that person, and you can physically see it's true. It's like, oh, yeah, exactly. And then they interview other siblings and that kind of thing. And it's really great.
Oh, amazing. Okay.
So I would like it if you would watch that. You don't take my advice in watching Palm Springs of the Penguin. So
I just haven't yet. Part of that is because something amazing has happened in our house. Our sons have reached tween boy phase. We implemented this great reward system and screen time system whereby we've really cut it back. They don't spend a lot of time on screens. They don't play a lot of video games. They now have all of these chores they have to do. They are happier. They are healthier. They are getting along better. It's great. Also, as a family now, we watch television together. So previously, it used to be just Robert and I watching telly every night together for like 1 hour a show. We're currently watching season 4 of The Bear. But now we watch young Sheldon with the kids.
Yeah.
Or we watch Series of Unfortunate Events with
So you're
Neil
making
Patrick Harris.
sacrifices as parents is what you're telling me.
It's actually awesome. I really, really love it.
But I don't know if you're aware, young Sheldon comes from Big Bang Theory. Like the worst show on the planet.
You don't like it?
Oh my God, it's terrible. I've made fun of it forever. Just my opinion. It is so typical sitcom and, ooh, look at us, we're being nerds. And maybe that's good for identity with your kids, making them smart and letting them know it's okay to be smart. But oh my God, if you ever want to have a demonstration of this, go into YouTube and search Big Bang Theory without laugh track and just watch how dry and horrible that show is.
It's so weird and I think and awkward, and I think that's what I like about it. But it's true what you say. Both of my boys really do enjoy young Sheldon, particularly my eldest, because if you were to take both of my kids and make them one person, they're very similar to that kid.
Based on what he's into.
Well, yeah. Now they're not at, for example, my eldest son isn't in high school at 9 years of age, but he has been reading at the college level since he was 8. So both of our children are incredibly intelligent. They have literally genius level IQs, way smarter than me. And so we have trouble parenting them, and they are delightfully peculiar. And I think watching this show, they really like it. There's something that they can see about themselves in this kid and his plight, and they find it very funny, and they just, I don't know, there's something about it. They love this show, and so they
relate to him probably.
They relate to him, and they want to watch it with us. And it's so nice having your children this age want to spend time with you. I cannot articulate it, but it is so nice. And they want to talk about the episodes, and they want to, I don't know, just hang out. It's really nice. So we all sit on the same couch. The 3 of us have blankets.
Start a campfire.
Yeah, exactly. And just sit there, whatever, just hang out and laugh together. And it's actually really, really sweet. I probably sound like an idiot, but
you sound like you have kids and that's what works for you. And to be fair, I haven't seen Young Sheldon. I've seen Big Bang Theory and I couldn't get into that ever at any point, but maybe Young Sheldon is different.
I've never watched a full episode of Big Bang Theory.
Oof.
Yeah. It's also pretty funny not being that far from Texas. There's a lot of Texan trope that's really funny, and there's a lot of hilarious references to what it's like living in the South and all of that. So the characters they're really interesting people. I don't know. I don't think that you would be into it, but it's kind of sweet.
That Kaylee Cuoco person is not in that, right?
No.
Because it's a different generation. I like that Kaylee Cuoco. Worst show ever, but she is great, very likable, and she is like the best podcast guest ever. I've heard her on a bunch of them, and she's great.
Oh, yeah. She's really smart and really funny. Yeah, she's a great actress.
All right. So if you want, you can maybe watch The Penguin with your kids. A little bit of violence, not much sex, and that Palm Springs, probably some sex stuff you wouldn't want your kids to see. Both of those featured my new favorite actress, Kristen Milioti. That's why I think of those.
Yes, exactly. And so we do want to watch that. And I actually had it pulled up the other night, but it was mature audiences. And I haven't watched an episode yet, so I was like, meh, I don't know about that. However, as you know, we've been going through this whole sequence of watching different shows with our kids. We watch Meet the Fockers.
That's a good
No,
one.
not Meet the Fockers, Meet the Parents. And next we're going to watch Meet the Fockers.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, and just so you know, Palm Springs, not a series, it's just a movie. It's a great movie everyone should watch. And Penguin is the series that I hope will come back. And wow, what an awesome responsibility to have to think about what you watch and not subject your kids to unhealthy stuff. I would hate that. Thank God I don't have kids. I'd just be saying, oh, watch whatever. I don't care.
It's interesting. And then, like we talked about last week on the show, the ratings in some ways don't mean shit. Because once you get in there, you're like, whoa, wait a minute, this is definitely inappropriate. We'll have to go back and watch Jaws now that it's PG. But I bet there will be things in that will go, oh, I don't know about that.
Something to consider when you go on vacation. Do you have the kids swimming in deep water?
Yeah.
You might not want to have them watch it. Because I remember as a kid, a really young kid, seeing that, and didn't matter if it was a lake. I didn't want to be in deep water after seeing Jaws. It freaked me out. The bathtub kind of freaked me out after that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary. Sharks are scary. Have you ever seen a shark while you've been swimming?
I've seen them at aquariums. I almost said terrariums, and that would be different.
That would be amazing.
I remember
questions.
I was at an aquarium with my dad, and it was the shark tank, and they were swimming around, and I had my face pressed up against the glass. And at that moment, I didn't see a shark came swimming in from the left, right across my face next to the glass. And I jumped back, hit my dad in the nose, gave him a bloody nose. It was a good time.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, it was a
Poor
big
thing.
shark moment for me, I'll tell you.
Man, sharks are scary.
I respect them. After that, I was traumatized by sharks and kind of studied them to learn about them because I was that kind of nerd kid. And the great whites are really the main ones you want to worry about. There's more aggressive hammerheads, tiger sharks. They're not that aggressive, or those are aggressive, and the other ones are not that aggressive usually.
And not that aggressive, yes.
Yeah.
But the tragedy of it is it's kind of our fault that they're attacking humans. We're overfishing the oceans.
And they are doing it more. Yeah.
They absolutely are. Why? Because they're hungry. And so they're coming in closer to the shore. The oceans are warmer, all of these different bits and pieces. And people do crazy shit. Like they're out in the ocean at prime feeding times.
Yeah, well, and we've fucked up their ecosystem. Oh, sorry about that. Now they're going to start chomping down on humans. So we brought it on ourselves. Hang your head low this 4th of July weekend. Yay, America.
America.
Fuck, yeah. I have that somewhere, but there's not really a need to play it this week.
It is so surprising to me. Every single day I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm not surprised. Just
I
disappointed.
purposely don't watch the news at night because I hear little bits throughout the day in radio reports, and I just don't want to hear anymore. I can't do it. It's just depressing. Anyway, we're doing fun, frivolous shows.
Oh, we're doing fun, frivolous shows.
Yeah.
But what are people, I wonder, is there anyone out there who voted for this going, rot-row raggy, I made a wrong choice?
Well, there's a bunch of people that voted for it that their loved ones have been abducted and they're having problems with it. So, yeah, I would like to have empathy, but I don't.
I can't wait for the midterms, but they're still so far away.
Yeah. There's so much more that can get fucked up between now and then.
Totally.
We always think, oh, it can't get worse. And I've stopped doing that. Comedy.
Hold my beer.
It's a comedy show.
It's no one would believe it. Could you imagine, like, let's just go back in the Scooby-Doo time machine, right? And then imagine if we wrote down everything that has happened. People would have locked us up and told us we were fucking lunatics and that there is no way that this would ever happen.
Hey, Scoob. That was my Shaggy impression. Not that good. It was Donald Trump in the Oval Office with the ghost disguise. That's the way that would go.
Would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids. Yeah. Oh my God, I have some amazing news about the first family.
All righty.
Maybe it's not that amazing.
I think it is.
But
already,
as you know, I'm a dirty immigrant, okay?
Foreigner. Goddamn foreigner.
Yeah, fucking foreigner. Anyway, my family and I came to this country through skilled work visas, and we've been on 2 different types of visa. One's called an L1, which is an intra-company transfer. So if you work for like a big company, big global company, they can move you from one country to this country using an L1 visa. They often have a quota and they apply for you and you go through. Great. There's another visa called an E3, which is basically the thanks for helping us out in the war, Australia. Like it's like 25,000 Australians that are allowed on this visa. It's infinitely renewable, 3 years. Anyway, my family and I, we've had a crack at both of those visas.
I didn't know your children were in the war.
Oh, not yet.
Very valiant of
not
them.
Not yet, Stu, but there's still fucking time, let me tell you.
Good point. There very much is time.
I think there's... so there is a visa type that is lesser known, and its unofficial title is Aliens of Extraordinary Ability. I knew somebody who had this one once. The person wrote programming languages. Other recipients of this include Nobel Peace Prize winners, very famous scientists, all this sort of stuff. That is the visa that our First Lady was awarded to come to this country.
I saw that in the news too. Yeah, because she's just smart and brilliant and contributing a lot to our society, isn't she?
Now, I do know that she's relatively smart. I think she speaks something like 7 languages. However, at the time, her profession was model. And her claim to fame in that time period where she was awarded this visa, she was on the cover of GQ, I think, in Europe or something. But that was it. Like, she's not changing the world.
Well, I think she was sainted. She's the first saint of tits and ass, I believe, is the moniker that they gave her.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Saint TNA.
Saint TNA.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Did you hear that they also have the first millennial saint? They just sainted a 13-year-old boy.
Oh, my God. What did he do? Don't you have to perform a miracle or something?
Yes, there have been miracles,
What was
apparently.
his miracle?
I don't know what his miracle is, but he was 13 or something when he died of, or 15 when he died of leukemia, and he just became a saint.
See, that's sad and it sucks, but does somebody dying mean that you saint them just because?
Well, I don't think it's just because he really dedicated his life to the church while he had it, and then there was a bunch of miracles that were observed and everything. As you can tell, this is not my area of expertise.
I want to know his miracles. I'm going to have to research it now.
I want to know the miracles.
Find the Cancer Boy's miracles, because I maintain that really most of the miracles are not real miracles. I like what really happened. Water to wine? Okay, let's see that. Impress me.
Yeah, impress me.
Yeah.
I want to see water to wine. I hear that they can do it with like pumpkins and a toilet in prison, but I haven't heard...
Wow.
I haven't seen the actual water to wine.
Pumpkins. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Figured there was other stuff. I knew they did stuff in the toilet. I didn't know it was. And they can't use that same toilet.
No.
No, they just save it. That's the wine toilet. You keep your ass away from that.
Exactly. It's the brew pot.
Do they maybe then piss in the sink, and then they have one cell for wine and the other cell for shitting, and then they save different cells, share different cells?
I mean, I guess so. I don't know how it works, but you can make wine by fermenting almost any fruit and vegetable. If you've got sugar, if you've got, fruit. Yeah,
I'm just concerned about the logistical nature of jail cell wine. We need to figure this out too. A lot of questions here today.
I'm concerned about the logistics of many jail cell items.
Yeah. And where they go.
And where they go, how they're made, things that happen. It's a whole different economy there. But, I don't know. I guess you must get pretty bored in there.
Here's a pack of cigarettes. Bend over.
Yeah, never say never, but I couldn't really see myself partaking in jail wine.
No, but maybe you need to numb yourself too, so maybe that would change. And also, I would have to think that women's prison is way easier than men's prison.
I have no idea. I think it depends on...
It's got to be hard, but I would think it's way easier. Because I think women are less likely to rape.
I would agree with you there. Well, in fact, science and mathematics would agree with you there.
There you go. That's what I rely on.
Yeah. This is
It's what I rely on when I'm talking out of my ass.
This is the hub for academia. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Welcome back to totalbabbledocky.com. Yeah.
There you have it.
With Dr. Stu.
All right. Let's talk about Cartoon Steve.
Oh, yes. I've been waiting all day.
Yeah. Steve Burns is this guy that was on Blue's Clues.
Yep.
It was a 90s cartoon show for kids. And in previous weeks, I thought that Blue's Clues and Bluey were the same, but they're not. One of them is from your country. I don't know. But anyway, Blue's Clues, I guess it was a cartoon show that had like real life actors with animated cartoon dogs and stuff, and it was Blue's Clues, and the show ended, and Steve Burns has had tough times since the show ended. Depression and typical childhood star stuff, I guess, and I don't fault him for that at all. Respect to him for that. Tough to get through. Well, now he's on a comeback, and guess what route Steve is going to take?
OnlyFans.
Ooh, even better. That would be great. Well, I have to shoot out an email. Suggest that to Steve.
Oh.
I like your thinking. But he's going to do a podcast because everybody is doing a podcast.
Yeah.
So I have audio here of Steve announcing his podcast. And this is Steve Burns from that cartoon show, Blue's Clues, announcing his podcast.
Hi. So people have been asking how I'm doing. And honestly, I'm a little freaked out by the world. Seems like lots of people are shouting and really no one is listening.
This is not fucking real.
But that gave me an idea. You know how there's like a billion podcasts that you can listen to?
Yep.
What if we made one that listens back? I think it could be a really cool idea. It would be part podcast, part conversation. Kind of like this. I don't know. I try to keep it short over here, but the link's in the bio. Meet me over there. I want to hear what you think. I want to hear your ideas. This could be cool.
There you go. There's Steve announcing his big new podcast that's coming out.
Part podcast, part conversation. Why is that mutually exclusive? I don't know what he thinks a podcast is, but I don't know if what he's proposing is as revolutionary as he's making it sound in that incredibly dramatic announcement. I will say this, though. He has got a great voice. I might have to put him on my sleepy rotation.
Oh, not one of the ASMR people. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Like I said, depression, childhood star stuff, respect to him on that. That was going to be the bit. It's Steve announcing his podcast, and I put cartoon sound effects behind it, and that was going to be the funny haha. Then I started to research, and I found out what his podcast is going to be, and as I understand it, it's going to be the same thing that he's been doing on TikTok and Instagram, and I have a sample of that. And it's basically just Steve saying hi and listening to people. This is, I guess, what the show is.
Okay. How you doing?
Okay. This is the show.
The organ music.
Talk to me, Steve.
Yeah.
It's the podcast that listens back. You're supposed to be telling Steve your worries and troubles right now.
That is not true.
I'm telling you, this is what he's been doing on Instagram and TikTok. He's just looking at the camera, pretending to listen to you. What the fuck, Steve?
I don't like that I can hear him masticating.
He needs to work on his mouth sounds. There's plugins.
I hear you.
Huh? He hears us.
You look great.
And then we look great. Good to know, Steve. Thank you very much.
I can make this so weird.
Oh, good. We like that.
I'm going to take this and I am going to start playing this audio when I join meetings at work. Yeah.
This is what we've come to in our society. It was going to be the fun cartoon bit with Steve, and I found out he's doing this, and we're now at a place in society where we're encouraging people not to actually even interact with each other, just to have fake conversations with cartoon Steve.
It is an actual travesty. And I'm on the fence about just like how deep to dig in to the ridiculous nature of it. But then I think I must be having one of those days where I'm feeling really empathetic, because it's just occurred to me how fucked up we are as a society, where there is a demand for this because people are so lonely and they're spending so much time in their devices. I was watching some people the other day, and for the life of me, because I have a brain like a sieve, I can't remember who those motherfuckers are. So sorry, apologies to whoever this is. You are geniuses. Great observation. Who knows who the fuck you are? But they were talking about how modern society, we're so engrossed in our phones, particularly children, that they are losing these interstitial moments, walking down the school hall, making eye contact, hi, whatever. They're so disconnected from one another that they're depressed. And that the people who, interestingly, feel most connected are the people who most connect to others, the people who are walking around with their eyes up, the people who are making eye contact with others, the people who are waving to people across the street, to their neighbors and that kind of thing. And our kids today have been socialized to live inside this tiny little box. They are too shy. They can't even stand there or eat lunch or do anything without something in their hand looking down. They're too uncomfortable to be open to receive interaction.
Yep.
And it is fucking people up.
And I forgot where I heard it, but I have heard people talking about kids nowadays cannot pick up the phone and make a phone call to make a reservation at a restaurant or call a store to find out if something is in stock, because they don't have that ability and that skill set, because it freaks them out and they don't know how to do it and they can't function like a normal human being on the phone. And I feel that when I call somebody and I get somebody young and we're having a conversation, and we'll get to a point in the conversation where I'll say, well, this, and I'll end on a note like this. And then I'll wait for them to talk and they don't know what to say and they can't hold up their own end. And I'm just like, oh my God, we are becoming idiocracy. I mention it all the time. Mm-hmm. And with Cartoon Steve, now we're encouraging people to become even more detached. And it's going to seem soothing that you come home and look at him nodding on your phone or your computer screen or whatever you're doing. It's Jesus Christ, people.
I mean, not to shit inside Steve's head, but he's also unlocked a brand new level of fetish. I want to know how many people are going home to masturbate to Steve.
We could do the research on that if you like.
I insist.
Get Steve an OnlyFans account. Or with AI now, we create AI naked Steve, and he'll do whatever you want. What would you like Steve to do?
I don't want to see Steve naked.
Yeah, well, other people do, if we're testing.
It's probably true. It's probably true. Ugh.
He's going to need a special stage name. Cartoon Steve is a little bit too kiddish.
Hate to break it to you, it's probably what his fans are into.
Something Clues, whatever. I'm just tired of everyone feeling seen because we talk about their journey, and it just be fucking normal people. Oh my God.
Just be normal.
It's frustrating. You know what makes people normal? I'll tell you. Bruce the Bat Dog. Thinking about getting into sports just because. I
mean, I know everything about Bruce the Bat Dog, of course, but hey, tell the listeners about him, Stu. Let them in on it.
Here's the saga of Bruce the Bat Dog.
A very good boy will be at the Nats game against the Miami Marlins. Bruce the Bat Dog, as he's called, will make his major league debut this weekend for the Nats. The team is calling Bruce their top prospect. The Golden Retriever will make his debut during the Nats' fourth Pups in the Park game. Now, he'll help get the game started with an honorary bat retrieval. You saw some of it right there playing out in the video.
Bruce is the happiest, biggest, floppiest, funnest golden retriever you've ever goddamn seen. And he's running around the field, and he's picking up the bat, and he's bringing it back.
Say Bruce, the bat dog, leads the organization in head pats, belly rubs, and just good boys. So cute.
So there's that.
Have you watched him do his thing? It's actually quite cute.
Yeah, he's happy, and all he wants to do is go and get that bat. They've taught him since he was a little puppy to go and get the bat, and they show him as a little puppy golden retriever, the cutest dog you've ever seen in your life, going after the little bat, and it's great.
So adorable. I love the bat dog.
I saw that and I thought, okay, good going, Bruce. And then I thought there's more ideas that we could use to make baseball more fun, because I don't need to watch that. It's not fun. Baseball is boring. And even amongst sports people say that baseball is the most boring of the sports. So I figure we could incorporate fun things to make baseball better and more entertaining. And the first thing I was thinking of is that each team has a dog, and they just let them run freely all over the field during the game, and they're going to chase after the balls and pick up bats and just have general mayhem. And I think that would make it more of a challenge and more fun to watch. What do you think about that?
I do think that would make it more fun to watch. I also think it would make it much more dangerous. So also, again, more fun to watch. Yeah, I'm all for it.
But dangerous for who?
The players and the dogs.
Okay, because I'm concerned about the dogs. If the players sign up for it, I kind of don't care.
I'm worried about the dogs because dogs getting hit with baseballs at multiple hundreds of miles an hour is not good.
I don't know if they would get hit, though. The odds are against it. Not a lot of players get hit. You're not going to have a dog in the exact place that a ball is getting hit to.
I mean, we don't know. But what I do know is this, is that humans who are on the field have the presence of mind to be watching. They can follow the game. They know the ball is getting pitched. They know it's going to come off the bat. Dogs, bless their little cotton socks, are thick as two short planks. So they are probably not watching for the game. It is likely that a dog would take one right in the face.
Okay, then we give them padding. We give them padding, and we put a wire thing across their face like a catcher, and we set them free. Now I think it's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's cute.
All right.
Anybody who tells me that baseball is boring, though, tells me they've never watched a test match of cricket before.
Oh, I know I haven't.
Yeah.
So if you didn't like that idea and it was dangerous with the dogs running around, you're not going to like this part of it. In the outfield, you have outfielders and you have vicious dogs from the other team, and they're on chains, but they're staked into the ground, and they're in left, center, and right field. So when a ball gets hit, the guy in the outfield has got to try to figure out, am I going to be able to get around the dog to get to the ball, or how do I do that? Is he going to try to outrun the dog? Is he just not going to go for it? And then if the ball lands right next to the dog, you have to call it like a ground rule double or something like that. You make obstacles, big vicious dogs in the outfield, a part of baseball.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
Can
that's
the
one
dogs
way you could
reach,
go.
Can the dogs reach each other?
No, the dogs are on stakes, so they can extend a certain amount to get at the ball or the other outfielders that are out there, but they can't get at each other.
Interesting. I can't imagine anyone who's going after the ball up against a dog.
It depends on the position. And then what you do is you give the outfielders, you give them like steaks of meat, and they can try to distract the dog by throwing the meat and then go after the ball. Genius.
You're assuming here that the dogs just don't want death and murder, that they want the meat. Maybe
hungry.
they want the man.
They're hungry, and we see how it goes. And this is going to mean then that the opposing team is going to have to train their dogs, because maybe the dogs get nice after a while and they need to keep them mean. I don't want to see them abusing the dogs, but that's going to be part of it as I think it through.
Interesting. I like where you're going with it. I think it's very interesting. It's modern.
Yeah.
It's actually really, really almost medieval when we're getting into it. It's almost one step up from cockfighting.
It's where our society's headed, really.
But I think it really is par for the course. I think it really is the baseball for the new America.
You feed the dogs well during the game, and then if your dog craps near where the bases are. And if you get a hit, you have to stop and pick up the crap on the way to the base that you're headed to.
That's fucked up.
It could happen. You got to keep the field clean.
Yeah, got to keep the field clean.
4 times per game, a team can call in their thumper dog.
What is that?
It's a big St. Bernard that's going to go to the runner on base and start madly humping their leg. And I mean just latch on. And now if there's a hit, that runner has got to try to round the bases with a St. Bernard just on him.
I do not want to know what goes into training that dog. I feel like this is abusive. I don't know if I could. That's the only thing at this moment that I'm like, I don't know if I can get behind that.
No, this is why we like you. You think things through. I don't always, but... But, okay, if you're training the St. Bernard to hump, how could that ever get abusive? I don't think it could. Some of the other stuff I've come up with, maybe.
Yeah, quick question.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is the dog humping throughout this whole thing?
It's humping the runner on base.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. So during the training, like, let's unpack this.
Okay.
Who's the humpy throughout this whole training thing? How do you, who is going to sign up to be, you had the bat dog that starts out with a baby bat, okay? How are you going to train this St. Bernard to hump humans from the beginning? You're like, this can't get abusive. I see the lens through which you're looking at it. Now look at it through my lens, which is who's getting humped through the training process.
Wow. And it's interesting that you bring this up, and I didn't have this question in my head, but as you're asking the question, I have come up with the actual completely correct answer.
Oh.
Humping dummy.
Mm.
They have a humping dummy. It's part of the sports training. They have a dummy that I don't know how they attract the dog, maybe sense of meat or something like that. But they have a humping dummy, and that's how the St. Bernard learns. And they could probably do it with color too. I think dogs can see color now. I think they decided that. And they would have it, pre-game, they have it in the other team's colors, and they let the dog get familiar with the colors and the scent of the other team. Humping dummy.
Amazing. One thing I do know is that St. Bernards are very, very smart dogs.
So they know how to hump.
I don't know about that. I assume all dogs know how to hump.
Yeah, it's kind of built in.
It's kind of built in.
Yeah, propagate the species and all that.
I wonder how you could stimulate the humping drive. Isn't humping, they say that humping is about dominance. So we used to have 2 dogs, as you know. The older one died, but the younger one, when we first adopted her, she was trying to become the dominant. So she would always hump the bigger dog.
Wow.
The bigger, older dog. She would constantly hump her to assert her authority over the big dog.
Nice Cartman.
Literally prison rules. It was crazy.
See, I've never experienced that because we were a normal family with only 1 dog at a time and not a zoo. And
So the dog only humped the humans in your house.
There was no humping. We had our dog fixed. We always had female dogs though. And I think
We've got 2 female dogs.
Okay.
That's the weird part of this story. 2
we always
female
got
dogs.
our dogs used from kennels, and they were always mutt females.
Used from kennels.
Yeah, you get your dogs used from kennels. It's a better way to go.
That's where both of these mutts were from the pound. But female dog humping the other female dog to assert her dominance. Weird. Interesting.
All right. Well, then there's, this is our final deal here. This is sort of a YouTube out of context.
Oh.
And it's not really a full-fledged version of the game, but I'll play this for you, and you decide and tell me what's going on here.
Quite some margin over the other athletes. Chris Robinson stumbles there on the penultimate hurdle. He's got 1 more to go. Matthias Lima is coming as well. Lima hits the hurdle on the final barrier as well, but it's going to be a win for Chris Robinson of the United States. 48-1 just gets the win ahead of a fast finishing Matthias Lima, and you feel like if Lima hadn't hit that final hurdle, he might have got back on terms with Chris Robinson.
All right. Now I can tell by your face you haven't seen this news story, which is great. So what do you think is happening there?
Okay. 48 seconds?
Sure.
Is that the time?
I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. That's not relevant to the story, I'll tell you that.
Penultimate hurdle. second to last hurdle.
He is hurdling. You've picked up that part of it.
So, is he doing a steeplechase? No, 48 seconds, way too short of a time. 400 hurdles?
Sure. I don't know. You're going way deeper with this than I would have thought.
Okay.
And asking me questions I don't know.
Okay, great. So,
I know the main meat of the story.
um,
And really, to be fair, you wouldn't get it from that soundbite. I'm just saying.
interesting. So this isn't a real sporting event. This is some sort of malarkey.
It's an absolute sporting event, but the news story is not in the sound of the story. Oh, I wonder if I can I back her up a little bit? Last 3 or 4 seconds here. What the shit? Alrighty. I'm a bad host. I forgot to turn off my phone. All right. So I'm going to play you the last 3 or 4 seconds and see if you can hear something in this woman's voice.
He might have got back on terms with Chris Robinson.
She's got a little bit of smile in her voice. That's the clue.
He might got back on terms with Chris Robinson. Okay, great. Play me the beginning again?
Alrighty, going back.
Quite some margin over the other athletes. Chris Robinson stumbles there on the penultimate hurdle. He's got one more to go. Matthias Lima.
And I'll tell you this, stumbling is a little bit of a clue.
Is it regular hurdles or is it a steeplechase? Like, at a steeplechase is like the big hurdles with water.
You mean is he jumping churches? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, exactly that. Is he doing like regular hurdles?
Do you have your outline open?
Well, I read the enjoy and I saw the dog.
Yeah, if you keep scrolling down.
Oh, wow. That is, he lost his pants.
He's doing these hurdles and his dong is flopping all over the place. I mean, it's going. And the second picture is worse. If you're offended, don't go to the second picture. Because I studied this like the Zapruder film and I found the exact frame and it's like, oh my God, dude, you are full out and you're all over the place. And he's stumbling because he's trying to get it back in his pants. And that's why she had that tone in her voice of, oh my goodness. Chris Robinson just had it out and going on the hurdles.
It's not okay. It looks like an angry bird trying to escape a prison.
Yeah. And I don't know why this is so easily accessed. You can find this anywhere on the internet. I would have thought they would have censored it. It's right there.
No, but you can't. This is like the guy at the Olympics.
Yeah.
The pole vaulter with Captain Floppy Dick. The pole vaulter, the Italian. But this is ridiculous. Anybody who does hurdles, I don't know why he's not worn appropriate underpants for this.
Do you think he should be fined? Should there be a dick fine?
Yeah.
Oh, how much do you fine him?
I don't know. But he should know better.
Because from his point of view, from what I can tell, it's all a big joke because he ran and he won and then he fell on the ground and flopped on his back and there was additional dong. And then he just had this happy look on his face like, ha, and wasn't that funny? I won. Ha, wasn't that funny? So if you're thinking he needs to be taught a lesson, then maybe we need to figure some things out.
Right.
Chris Robinson.
That's crazy. So it's like a 400 hurdles.
And it's also weird that this world-class hurdler is also the lead singer of the Black Crowes. I don't understand that part of it.
That is confusing for everyone involved, especially given the usual age at which hurdlers end their athletic careers.
And Chris Robinson and the Black Crowes just put out a new record that's great. And not the original Shake Your Moneymaker record they put out many years ago. That's a clue right there.
That's a clue right there. I was at the cinema yesterday, speaking about old people. And 9 Inch Nails have now really progressed to just doing film scores.
Huh.
I mean, we know that Trent Reznor was doing that for a long time.
He did the Facebook one, I think.
Yeah, he's done a lot of films. So, but now I saw the short for a film and it was, I think it's something like I Know What You Did Last Summer or something like one of these horror sort of remakes or something. Or actually, no, it's a new Jordan Peele film called Him.
Okay.
And then it was like original music by 9 Inch Nails.
It's one of the key or Peels, Aaron.
The movie looks horrific. My sons and I looked at each other and went, no thanks. It's about some sort of football star, but it looks like a Lady Gaga music video, like death, meat, Satanism.
Whichever key or Peele that is, he's been doing a lot of those lately. They're like horror films with social commentary and that kind of thing. And
it's another one of those.
I saw the first one he did and I liked it. I haven't kept up on him.
Get Out?
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember that, and I remember liking it, but I remember nothing about it. I know there was a big payoff at the end, like, ooh, what the fuck? Like a Mariska Hargitay thing, but it was different.
I think the whole premise of that, isn't it, that this African-American guy hooks up with this white girl. She takes him home to meet the parents. Throughout, we discover that what they're doing is for eternal youth. They're like transferring the consciousness of these decrepit old white fucks into the bodies of the African American.
That's what it is. You're absolutely right.
Yep.
I remember that.
Yep. Terrifying.
Well, show done. Good one. I enjoyed it. Fun talking to you as always. Go out and everybody try to do something to make the country better. Fireworks and shit ain't gonna do it. I'll just leave it there.
Happy 4th.
Yay. Ooh. Everybody, we'll end the show like looking. I worked at a radio station one time where they did a live remote from a fireworks show. Ooh. Isn't that a good one?
They did not.
Swear to God. That, and they did the Blue Angels. They described the Blue Angels and fireworks on the radio for people driving around.
That's amazing. That's almost as good as Blue's Clues' new podcast concept.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm good, Steve.
What's with the church organ, Steve?
Well, it's peaceful. We're on a journey with Steve.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't do it again. Everybody have a good week.
Yeah, keep it real.
Okay, you know how this goes. Like us, subscribe, tell your friends, write a nice review, engage with us. We're Total Babble on Instagram, on Facebook, on Threads, and on Blue Sky. Email is show@totalbabble.com. The Total Babble Podcast.
I don't like that I can hear him masticating.